Dudes and dudettes, how are you guys? This is Chazzy and welcome to my 900th video special here on YouTube. 900 freaking videos, man. I never in my life thought I would get this far, you know. I know that I say this every 100 special thing that I do, you know, but it just gets crazier every time I hit a new milestone, you know. 900 videos, just 100 away from 1,000, you know. It feels really good, but also very, you know, scary at the same time, you know, because it's a lot of content that I've left behind to get here, you know. Been recording videos for about 6 years now, going on almost 7, I think, you know. So it's been a very long journey, and today's video is going to be something that normally I like to dress up a little bit for these videos, put on a little polo or a button shirt or something, but I'm wearing this one here, this generic white t-shirt, because this is actually going to be a remake of a video that I did back in 2020, and it's going to be, in Hollywood terms, a literal shot-for-shot remake, you know, where I'm going to be giving you guys 20 facts about myself, you know, and I had to rewatch that video of mine to see if anything changed since then, you know, if I could do something differently. And other than just one little thing that changed because I discovered something new about myself since then, every other fact is the same, you know. So if you happen to be around here on my channel, you know, when I release that video, then it's gonna feel like deja vu to you. But that one was like 36 minutes long, and I'm gonna try to make this one a lot shorter, you know, so it can be a little more bearable for you guys. Try to give you a little bit less information, but still, if you're new to my channel, if you've been subscribed just recently, you know, then it's going to be a good opportunity for you to learn something, to learn new things about me. You know, I'm going to share some personal stuff with you guys, and the very last fact is the most personal one of all, so stay tuned to the end. Don't just skip to it, you know, actually watch the whole video, because you're really going to help me with the view time, you know. And this video is the one thing that stands in my way, you know, for my vacation, because I'm already on vacation from work. Today, December 15th, is the day of my vacation beginning, so all I gotta do is get this video out and then just chill for the next month or so. Anyway, guys, I guess that's pretty much it, but that was the introduction, you know, and these facts are going to vary, you know, from generic you know, predictable to very, very deep and personal. So it's going to be a lot of fun to cover this again, and I just can't wait. So without any further ado, let's just get right into it. Number 1, starting off with kind of like a little Chazzy origin story for all of you who are curious, you know. Despite the way that I speak English here in my videos, I am actually not American. I'm in fact Brazilian. I was born in Brazil and grew up in the United States, you know. English was my first language. It is my native tongue. I was alphabetized in American English before even learning Portuguese properly, you know. I went there when I was just 5 years old, and I grew up there. I spent more than a decade there, and throughout all the time I was indoctrinated with American culture, their customs, traditions, lifestyle, you know. And even to this day, I still feel a stronger attachment to America than here to Brazil, which is actually my native country, you know. Coming here in 2009 was a way for me to understand more of my own roots and culture, you know, and seeing my family again, making new friends, you know. It was interesting, but still, these two cultures are so different, and to this day, at times, there are parts of me that feel more American and actually Brazilian, you know. So it's really hard for me to be proud of my heritage, you know. I actually am kind of ashamed of it at times, you know. It's this kind of like this curse that I have to carry around me, this weight on my back, you know. But still, I mean, you have to always own up to what you are. You can't run away from your origins, you know. So my roots will always be here in Brazil, but because I grew up in America, I feel so strongly connected to it. I love American culture so much more, the entertainment. I like watching the movies, TV shows, playing the games, reading the books, you know, listening to the music, you know. The American dream lifestyle, that speaks a lot more to me than anything that this country ever could, you know. But still, maybe one day I'll go back, maybe I won't, I don't know. But until then, I'm going to continue to consume American culture until the day that I die. Now, number 2, to those of you who don't know, at the time of recording this video, if you're not close to me in real life, you're not gonna know, but I am 29 years old right now, and my birthday is actually in 3 days. I am 3 days away from turning 30, and I am terrified of that. I'm really scared of becoming so old, you know, and I've been recording YouTube videos for like 6 years, going on 7 now, and nothing has happened. I'm starting to grow now, you know, getting more views and subscribers and stuff, you know, interactions, but it feels weird to be coming up on such a ripe old age and not having done anything with YouTube, you know. Bro, I started when I was like, what, 24 or 25? maybe like 23, 24. I've been recording videos since I was like in my early to mid 20s, you know, so it's weird to have got to this milestone and still be here, you know. Reminds me of the Smosh Boys, Anthony and Ian, when they turned 30, you know. But yes, maybe you guys didn't know that, you know, because whenever I let my beard grow out, people say that I look older. When I shave it off, I look younger, so it's really weird. But anyway, so number 3, I speak 3 different languages, you know, with varying degrees of fluency. Obviously Portuguese and English, you know, English being my first language, my native tongue, and then Portuguese, you know, that I've learned over the years living in Brazil. But I also speak Spanish, although I speak it enough to understand and have a conversation, you know, but it depends on where the person is. Like when I was growing up in the US, you know, there were many Latinos in my school, so I had many friends who were Hispanic, you know, so the vast majority were either, I believe, Peruvians or Colombians, you know, so, and there were a few Mexicans here and there, so it's a similar language, but also different, you know, with different dialects and stuff, you know, so I was exposed to a lot of Spanish in my youth, you know, and in school as well, and so were my parents who had many coworkers who were immigrants, you know, so I could say that my level of Spanish is like intermediate, you know. I am learning Japanese right now, so I'm working on learning a 4th language, you know, but it's been really, really tough, you know. Japanese is hard as hell, but I like it, you know. So yeah, just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a cultural thingy there about myself, you know. Number 4, I actually have already covered this before on this channel, you know, fairly recently, you know. I did an entire video just talking about this. I have a grotesque hatred for insects, you know. I despise them so much. I find them to be repulsive, you know, and utterly useless to humanity, you know. There are some like bees, for example, that are important to the ecosystem and the balance of pollination and whatnot, but in general, I just despise them, you know. I'm not afraid, you know, it's not that I have a fear of them, you know, I just really, really don't like them, you know. I just, God, man, holy freaking crap, I don't know, man. I just really, I hate them so much. And well, how is this a fact about me? Well, it's because it's something that is very, very strong, you know, and I felt the need to share here, you know. And those of you who actually like insects, you know, I really don't care if you hate me or not, you know, because spiders are an example of one that I don't really understand how people can like, you know, because, dude, just in case you guys don't know, there are currently right now more spiders than human beings on the planet, you know, and there are 7 billion humans, so imagine how many spiders there are. And if the spiders in the world, you know, collectively got together in some kind of hive mind and started to think, you know, as one large, let's say, I don't know, sentient being, let's say every single spider on the planet suddenly decided to, you know, connect to each other's heads, you know, they could actually devour every single person on the planet in 48 hours, man. That is frightening as hell. I hate spiders, and I hate ants, and I hate cockroaches, and I hate everything about it. Whenever I see any insect, my first urge is to crush it with my bare hands, you know. Actually, no, that's gross. I don't actually touch them. But you get the idea. I want them to just stop existing. I wish I could pull a Thanos and just snap my fingers and make them all stop existing, you know. I just want to just freaking karate kick them in the groin, you know, and send them flying. Speaking of karate kicking, that actually segues into fact number 5, you know, which is that for 8 years of my life living in America, I took different kinds of martial arts, you know. I started off with Subak-do, which is a Korean hybrid of different styles, similar to Taekwondo, you know. I believe it comes from North Korea. I don't think it came from the South, you know, but it came from the Muda Kwan Foundation, you know. And also I did capoeira sometime later, you know, which is the Brazilian style of dance fighting, and also a little bit of XMA, extreme martial arts, you know, tricking, gymnastics, that kind of thing. And I was even self-taught in Jeet Kune Do for a while, you know, Bruce Lee style of fighting. So it was really hard to balance all of them at the same time, but it was fun, you know, to try. I was kind of like a mix of different fighters, you know. I really loved Jeet Kune Do. I was in love with Bruce Lee, kind of obsessed actually. It was very unhealthy at the time, you know, and I was thin and scrawny, so I wasn't like exactly I wasn't really the archetypical kind of martial artist, you know, but still, I really loved doing it. It was my passion. I wanted to become the greatest martial artist ever, you know. Doing Subak-do, I went to a lot of different tournaments. I even won a few medals, you know, bronze, silver, and gold. So went to a lot of different tournaments, you know, and did different tests. I had made it all the way to my 2nd degree black belt, you know, which was just a few ranks from the master, but that would have taken many more years and discipline, you know, but I enjoyed it a lot. It was fun, you know. I kind of miss it. I just stopped because I got into other interests, you know. Speaking of other interests, number 6, I also used to be a professional dancer for a time, you know. I started off doing b-boy and a little bit of breaking, this and that, you know, kind of like, pretty much like like the essential kind of, you know, street dancing, you know. When I say pro, it's because when I was older, I did take it a little seriously, and I was, you know, doing a lot of street dances and kind of hustling for money here and there, you know, a few little dance-offs in and around school. I kind of sucked at the time, but I started to get better. Unfortunately, when I was 14, I tried to do something that I couldn't have. I tried to do something that I didn't know how to do properly, and I actually dislocated my elbow, so I stopped doing b-boy after that, and I kind of segued into a bit more crumping, you know, and kind of like the freeze kind of thing, Mr. Robot style, like Michael Jackson, you know. And I was dancing for quite a long time, you know, a lot of different styles. When I came to Brazil, I kind of got a fame around school as being a pro dancer, you know. I still suck, but I was apparently a lot better than everybody else, you know. So yes, I was also a dancer for many years. It was really nice. And now we have number 7, you know, another thing that I used to do before being a YouTuber. Between 2012 and 2015, I was the lead vocalist for 5 different bands, starting off with, you know, like alternative rock and soft rock, and slowly graduating into, slowly transforming, evolving into harder styles like heavy metal and stuff, you know. And throughout all of that time, I had one friend who was also the guitarist for every single one of my bands. His name was Rodrigo, and we actually took it really seriously. I was also the primary songwriter because all of our songs were in English, you know. And our final band, which was called Deceased Rebellion, was a product that we were working on in 2015, you know. I had kind of started to understand a little bit better how to do guttural screams and use my voice better, but unfortunately he died in a car accident, and since then I have never even done anything remotely related to music, you know. I didn't just lose a friend, I lost a very key piece of my band, so didn't really feel like making music anymore, but I did like it a lot, you know. I was very inspired by bands like Slipknot and Linkin Park, you know, Motionless and White, Trivium, that kind of thing. It was really nice. It was fun for a while. But all good things must come to an end. Number 8, a little bit more of the gaming side. The first game that I ever played in my entire life was Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo, you know, back in the 90s. I think I was like maybe 2 or 3, you know, more or less, when I got my first Super Nintendo. And that game really changed my life for the better. It was the first game ever that I played, and it kind of opened the floodgates for different ones, you know. I actually have never beaten it, by the way, to this day. I have beaten so many other games, hundreds and hundreds, you know, and much harder ones, but I have never gotten through Super Mario World. If I played today, I probably could, you know, but as a kid I really sucked, you know, and as I started to get more games in my library, I never really thought to finish it, you know. So I guess maybe that's just how it is, you know, but it really had a very strong influence on me as a gamer, you know, and even in my life when it comes to entertainment, you know. So yeah, man, freaking Mario. Number 9, now we're really getting into deep personal territory here. I suffered from ADHD as a child, and I really could not stand still. I actually had to take controlled medication for it, you know, and I'm not entirely sure what it was, you know, but I had so much hyperactivity. I got in trouble at school a lot because I literally could not stay still, you know. I was always very active, and throughout a lot of elementary and even a bit of middle school, I was bullied because of it, you know, because my teachers were always frustrated, you know, so they would, you know, punish me, and I would come home and my parents would punish me in turn, you know. So I also suffered a lot of bullying because of it. I was very, very picked on, you know. It's not like the cliche thing where people would stuff me in lockers or throw or put my head in a toilet, you know. I was never like physically abused too much, but I was made fun of a lot because of it, you know. People said that I was weird or crazy or something, you know, instead of understanding what I was actually going through. And after a while, I stopped taking the medicine. I started to calm down a bit more, you know, as I got into other pleasurable activities like video games and stuff, and playing with my friends outside, you know. I think that the more activities I did, the calmer I became, but I do still have remnants of it today, you know, because as the years have gone on, the ADHD has actually evolved into anxiety, you know, and I am prone to panic attacks today, you know. I do suffer a lot from anxiety, and I have gone through depression, you know. So even to this day, I have trouble staying still, you know, because I get bored and my body starts involuntarily moving. Like, even if it's something simple like tapping my foot or shifting my legs around, crossing them, you know, or crossing my arms or scratching myself, I cannot stay still, you know, unless I'm watching a movie, playing a game or a TV show or reading a book, you know. But I'm always shifting somehow, even when I don't notice it, you know. So if you notice me doing that in real life, it's because of this, you know. There are still remnants of the ADHD still in me, so it's really crazy, you know, but at least it's not as bad as it was when I was a kid, you know, because I really was hyper, you know. Even without eating sugar, when I ate sugar, the world almost exploded, you know. Number 10, as far as I know, I am allergic to dust, you know, and it has been, like, I'm pretty sure that it's completely, how can I say, I have never been diagnosed with it. I've I've never been to a doctor to like do the allergy test, you know, but every time I have to clean my house and dust flies up, I start sneezing, you know, and when I don't clean it for too long and the dust gathers, I do start sneezing. So I also start sneezing and kind of get like a cold whenever the climate changes, like it's really sunny, suddenly it gets cold, or it's cold and suddenly it gets hot. But that's something else that I think everybody goes through. But I have a specific allergy to dust, you know, and I have to always be constantly cleaning my house at least once a week, sometimes even twice, because despite my house being small, there is a lot of dust that can gather on this stuff, you know, so I'm always got to be clean. And I don't want to clean on my vacation, but I have to because I live by myself. So that's just it, man. A freaking fear of cleaning my house, huh? Speaking of fear, number 11, I have thalassophobia, you know. I actually recorded a video talking about just this if you want to watch it later to explain in more detail, you know, but basically it is a deep innate fear of open water, the ocean, large bodies of water, you know. I have been terrified of this for years now. I don't really know what the origin was, you know, how I became afraid of the ocean, because I very rarely go to the beach, you know. Not a big fan of beaches, but that's not the point. The thing is that the ocean is vast and huge, and you never know what's under the waves, you know, because we as a species have explored very, very little of our oceans. I believe less than 10%, you know. So what's to say that there's not like a freaking megalodon down there or something even bigger? What if Cthulhu actually exists and he's there just waiting to enslave us all, giant prehistoric animals, you know? If I get dropped into the middle of the ocean, I might die just from a panic attack, you know? I'm gonna go into shock, because it's the fact that I'm not gonna see anything, but anything can come get me that's gonna freaking freak me out, you know? I freaking stop, freaking my tablet keeps the screen keeps turning off, and I have the cheat sheet here, you know. I had to rewatch the video and write down all the facts so I could have them here for you guys. But anyway, so now something a little bit more personal and maybe clandestine. Number 12, despite having grown up in the US and living in Brazil for many years now, you know, my favorite food isn't even American or Brazilian. It's actually Colombian. I love Colombian food, you know, rice and chicken specifically, you know. The way that they prepare it, you know, it's a little bit more salty and seasoned. It tastes much better. Now, when I was living in the US, there were many different Colombian restaurants in town, and me and my parents would go to them very frequently. Even their soda and their drinks, you know, is always really tasty, you know. Not really sure. It's been so long since I've had Colombian food, you know, and I've had so many different kinds of food here in Brazil, even Japanese. I've grown to love different kinds of food. I'm a very open-minded person when it comes to food, so maybe you can say I'm open-stomached, you know. But to this day, nothing has even come close to Colombian food. It is the best, you know. I just can't, man. It is awesome. And I had friends who were Colombians, you know, and I kind of had crushes on many girls who were Colombians when I was in middle school and high school, you know, so that explains the attachment to it, you know. So yeah, man, just wish I could freaking taste it again. There was this restaurant called, I believe, Polo Tropical, you know, chicken on the grill. I don't think it was Colombian though. I think it was more Jamaican, you know, but still, just the chicken specifically is just amazing, man. The seasonings. Number 13, I have been to Walt Disney World 3 times, you know, in my youth, and Walt Disney World is the one that is in Orlando, Florida, as opposed to Disneyland in Anaheim, California, you know. And because I lived so close to Orlando, just a couple of hours away, we went there pretty frequently, you know. I do believe it was maybe once or twice a year, but throughout my youth when I was a kid, I went there many times with my parents, you know. They took me to other parks, you know, like Busch Gardens and Universal Studios. We also went to Rapids Water Park. I'm not really sure it's considered the same because it's a water thing, but still. We also went to Miami Seaquarium, and I myself went to SeaWorld many years later as a teenager, you know, without my parents. You know, I went with a friend of mine and his folks, you know, so it's very common for you to go to theme parks there, you know, when you live so close. Everything is in Orlando. And Disney specifically, I believe that we went to Magic Kingdom and maybe also Epcot. I don't think we went to Animal Kingdom. There was another one that I forgot. Downtown Disney, Disney, something like that. And maybe we went to Magic Kingdom twice, you know. But anyway, going to Disneyland as a kid, you know, Disney World as a kid really contributed a lot to my love for Disney, you know, as a child, watching the movies and playing corresponding games, reading books and getting merch and stuff, you know. I was really decked out with the Disney merch when I was a child. I just loved it so much, and going there really contributed to that. So I really do have fond memories of that. It's kind of like a little flex that I have. Although Americans who live there probably go 3 times every month, so man, just it's not really that impressive, but I still loved it a lot. Number 14, this is kind of embarrassing because I feel like everybody in the world can do this except for myself. I can't whistle. I cannot whistle. I don't know why. I just never learned how to, and even though people who do it say that it's easy, and I even have, just out of curiosity, looked at online guides on how to do it, you know, I could never replicate the sound that, you know, you make when you whistle. I don't know why. In fact, matter of fact, I'm gonna try it now. Here we go, guys. like I said, it's not gonna happen. It is not gonna freaking happen. I don't know why, I just can't, you know. My dad is like a professional whistler. He can whistle in different tones, different ways. It pisses me the hell off because I can't do it myself. I freaking hate it, you know. And because I hate it so much, let's transition now to number 15, you know, which is a more personal one. In my entire life, I have had 5 girlfriends, you know. 5 actual you know, serious relationships. I have gone on many dates, you know. I've had one-night stands. I have dated a few times a year. I'm not sure if dating corresponds to having a girlfriend or you're just getting to know the person, but still, actual serious relationships, you know, with rings on the finger, you know, alliances, I have had 5 times that, you know. And my last girlfriend was back in 2016, so it's been a while, and none of my girlfriends were in the United States, you know. There I had a few dates here and there and some crushes, and I did kind of flirt with a few. I did have a few intimate moments, but I have never actually had a serious relationship there. All of my girlfriends have been here in Brazil and in Rio de Janeiro, so still haven't dated anyone here in Sao Paulo, and I'm not looking forward to, because I have plans to leave this country one day, you know, hopefully soon, so don't want to get tied down. But, you know, I wasn't the perfect boyfriend and I never had the perfect girlfriends, but relationships are like that, you know. You have to always try to grow and learn from each one, and I did try to, you know. Well, whenever I broke up or I got broken up with, I tried to learn from the mistakes that were made and try to be a better person in the next relationship, you know, and I don't even know if it worked out. You can ask my exes about that, but still, let's keep going. Number 16, I do not have a college degree yet. You know, I did try to take college back in 2014 in Rio. I was studying tourism, you know. I even got my first work as a, what's the word? I forgot what it is. An intern, you know. It did give me my first job, you know. I worked during the 2014 FIFA World Cup in Rio, so it was really nice, you know, to see that that culture there, you know. And I have had many different jobs, you know, and I couldn't continue college, you know, back in the day, because that's where my ex was, you know, my second to last girlfriend, who unfortunately was unfaithful. She cheated on me, and the relationship was so bad that just setting foot on college campus reminded me of her, because that's where we met and started dating, you know. So I could not look anywhere without being reminded of her, so I couldn't take it anymore. I tried to study photography, digital photography, long distance in Harvard, you know, some years later, but I still haven't finished. It's been really tough, you know, but I do hope to get a college degree one day, maybe multiple, but I just don't have the means to do it right now. Now, number 17, a more personal one. My favorite season is winter. You know, I love cold weather. Of course, I'm not the kind of person who wants to go out when it's really freezing and just kill myself, you know, but I like it when it's cold, you know. I have actually seen snow twice in my life, when I went to New York in 2004 and North Carolina in 2009, you know, so I really like the culture in cities that, you know, have snow in the winter. New York, for example, is the perfect place because every season is perfect, you know. You got summer, spring, there's autumn, there's winter, fall, the whole 9 yards, you know, everything is just so perfect there. So, and I like it when it's cold because it's more comfortable to do things in and around the house or go outside and do chores, you know. It just feels a lot better when it's cold. I like whenever it gets cold here in Sao Paulo. The days here can get hot, but when it's cold, it's nice, you know. I like to make myself a nice cup of tea, just, you know, sit down on my couch, excuse me, and watch a movie or something, you know. So I will always love winter, always have, even though I grew up in Florida, which doesn't really make a lot of sense, you know. It's just because I grew up in South Florida, which is not exactly the coldest place in America, and somehow I like the cold. I don't know why. Just don't try to understand me. Don't judge me either. So, Winter Wonderland. That's the stuff, man. I love the culture behind Winter Wonderland and snowy terrain and that kind of stuff. I miss it so much, you know. I can only get that by watching Christmas movies now. It reminds me of Christmas in America. I miss it so much. But anyway, let's move on to number 18 now, which is probably one of the most interesting ones here on this list, at least in my opinion, you know. I actually saw the rise of YouTube twice. I saw it beginning in the United States, you know, with the surgence of, you know, creators like Smosh and Jack's Films, and, you know, even the very early cringy days of other ones like what's that other guy's name? Was she Jenna Marbles? No, there was this other guy who came around. Anyway, I saw the first videos on YouTube, you know, the really crappy quality old ones, you know, that today have hundreds of millions of views, you know, the very first creators. And I became a fan of Smosh around like 06, 07, you know, when me and a buddy started to watch their videos and even tried to create our own. You know, he had a YouTube channel with another friend and they were always making stuff, you know, and he kind of tried to loop me in as well. So I saw it starting to grow. Then we saw other other kinds of markets like Watch Mojo doing informative videos. Then there was the gaming market, of course, you know, Markiplier and PewDiePie. I started to see, I think PewDiePie came first, PewDiePie then Markiplier. So I started to see YouTube growing, you know, in the early days. And then when I moved to Brazil, I saw it happening again around 2010, 2011, you know, when we had our own YouTubers, you know, start doing their own videos out of nowhere, you know. We had, like, for example, Felipe Neto, there was Kefera, and I believe Felipe Castanhari, who was doing this thing called Canal Nostalgia, maybe Cocielo, I don't know. The ones who were famous today started around this time. So when I moved to Brazil, I saw YouTube rise again. So I actually missed 2 opportunities to become a big YouTuber, because if I was there in the US, you know, and I started making videos as well, maybe they would have grown because it was the only ones on the platform, you know. Same thing with here in Brazil. If I had started to do vlogs, you know, and do random stuff, maybe I would have grown. So I saw YouTube come into existence in 2 different countries, and I still could not hop on the trend and, you know, get famous and stuff, you know. It sucks, but still a very interesting fact about me there. And that actually segues perfectly into number 19, you know, because in case it's not already obvious, but maybe you can imagine, because I'm so comfortable behind a camera, or rather in front of a camera, shut the hell up, you goddamn mating parents. Because I am so comfortable in front of a camera, it is my biggest dream to be an actor, you know, and I really love movies. I like consuming them and also reading up about the behind the scenes production and stuff, you know. So I would love to be involved to movies to some degree, but I would love to be an actor, you know, to entertain people and show my range of acting, you know. I have done a few school plays when I was a kid, you know. I did take a little bit of theater in high school, so it's not that I'm classically trained, but I kind of know how movies work in a certain way, you know. So maybe I would be a good fit. I don't know if Hollywood would ever give me a chance, but I would love to be rich and famous, to use my influence and money and power to help people, you know, especially those in impoverished communities, you know, work a lot with charities and non-profits. That would really be cool. I would love to one day, you know, if I could expand more, maybe I'll get discovered with YouTube, you know, maybe not. I've been wanting to do this since I was a kid, you know. There was always in the back of my mind this desire to make movies somehow, but it still hasn't happened. But anyway, now let's get to the last fact, which is number 20, you know. And if you made it this far, you are an absolute legend, because I don't know how long this video is getting, but this one here hopefully is really worth your time, because it is only the second time ever that I'm revealing this on YouTube, you know, and it's gonna be fun. So let's just get right into it. Now, if you have been here on my channel since the beginning, you know, or since like the early days, maybe in like, I don't know, 2017, 2018, when I started, you know, uploading videos more frequently. 2017 was kind of like the golden era when I was still beginning doing videos pretty much daily. I used to refer to myself on this channel by the moniker Igor Chesterfield, you know, which is my first and last name. And then years later, I changed it to Chazzy, because I kind of felt like it was a little bit more catchy, you know, but I still refer to myself as Igor Chesterfield, you know, in real life and in social networks, you know, whether it's on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I use Chesterfield a lot. However, my real name is actually very far from that, because remember, if you watch the first fact, you know, I was born in Brazil, so how would my last name be Chesterfield? My real birth name is actually Igor Viana Gomez. That is just about the most Brazilian name somebody could ever have, you know. It's a mixture of 2 very common ones, and I hate them. I don't like being referred to as that, you know. That's why I keep saying, that's why I keep calling myself Chesterfield, which is an artistic name, you know. It was inspired by the late singer for Linkin Park, Chester Bennington, you know. I took the Chester from that and added Field because it's kind of like an American thing, you know, like Haddonfield, Maddenfield, you know, the ending with Field. So I wanted to have a more unique name here for YouTube and also social media, you know. So I kind of wanted to create like this, let's say, a character online, you know, and kind of feel a little bit more unique, you know, similar to what other YouTubers do, like Markiplier. His name is Marcus, you know, Fishbach or something. So Markiplier comes from the idea of multiplying himself to do different skits, you know. Jacksepticeye, whose real name is actually Sean, you know. I don't know what the origin of his name is, but it's there. PewDiePie, his name is actually Felix, you know. It's normal for you to, you know, create different names for yourself online, especially on YouTube, and that's what I did with Chesterfield, you know. But it started to feel a little bit more serious, you know, and as I started to expand more and doing different kinds of content that wasn't just vlogs, I wanted to use Chazzy because it's kind of like a nickname for Chester, you know. So that's how it is, man. Those are the origins of my existence, you know, and that is my real actual name. But now that you found out, do not start calling me this. Maybe if one day I become famous and have a Wikipedia page, it will be there, but for all intents and purposes, my last name is Chesterfield, goddammit. And that's it, guys. That is it. I have no idea how long this video got, but hopefully it was at least a little bit shorter than the first time around. You know, 20 facts about Chazzy, you know, with the same kind of theme and a lot of the same facts, you know, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this. It felt like a good way to end this, you know, felt like a good way to kind of end this, let's say, this cycle of another 100 videos, you know. Even though I tripped up a few times, you know, this year, you know, I had so many things going on in my personal life, and I could not give you guys my original intended schedule of 1 video per day and 2 on Sundays, you know, but I'm gonna try really hard next year, you know. I'm gonna be taking a break now because, as I said at the beginning of this video, I'm on vacation, so I want to try to relax and chill, you know, but I'm still going to, you know, maybe I'll take like a month off or so, which is my actual vacation time, or maybe just 3 weeks out of that, and then I'm going to start planning out and recording the videos for next year. And I promise you guys, this time it's gonna be different, you know, and if I break this promise, I will commit public seppuku. Next year I will come back and give you guys 1 video per day and then 2 on Sundays until I hit 1,000, and after that only God knows what's gonna happen, because I have no idea, man. 900 videos is a landmark, you know. My channel has been growing a lot over the past few months, and I want to thank you guys, you know, if you're here, whether you've been here for a long time or you're new and you felt the need to subscribe for me to entertain you, thank you for that, you know. And I am exhausted. I am so tired emotionally, so I really do need this break, you know. Whenever I hit 100 videos, I go away for a while, I chill and do other things, you know, just to relax. But of course, putting in research to do other videos, you know, that's also gonna happen. So thank you guys so much for understanding. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for subscribing, liking, commenting. And if you still haven't subscribed today to become a dude or a dudette, then if you happen to like this video, please go ahead and give it a like, and also subscribe to my channel, because I release videos every single day. And while you're at it, hit the notification bell too, so you can know exactly what time I upload for the final time this year. Have a good rest of the year, guys. Merry Christmas to you, Happy New Year, the whole 9 yards, and that is it for now. Old man Chazzy needs a break. I'll see you guys next year. For the final time in 2022, roll the outro screen.